ये माई सेल्फ इरशाद अहमद। डर्मल मॉडिफिकेशन के अंदर मैंने एक लेक्चर दिया था, उसके अंदर कुछ चीज़ें बाकी थी। डर्मल मॉडिफिकेशन के अंदर जिसके अंदर डिजिटल कॉर्निफिकेशन होता है, उसके अंदर क्लॉज है, नेल्स है, हूप्स है, हॉर्न्स हैं। हॉर्न्स में कई तरीके के होते थे, जिसमें ट्रू हॉर्न, प्रॉन्ग हॉर्न, एंटीलर्स और इसके अलावा जिराफ हॉर्न और हेयर ऑफ हॉर्न्स। जिराफ हॉर्न क्या होता है कि ये जिराफ हॉर्न आर stunted, unbranched and permanent antlers present in the both sexes. Each consists of a short bony dermal course projecting from the frontal bone and remain covered with a simple unmodified skin or a velvet which is never shed, and that is a permanent structure. Hair horns. Hairs are fibrous horns are found in the rhinoceros of the both sexes. Perched upon a roughness area of the nasal bone, Indian rhinos has a single horn, while the African species have two, one behind each other. These horns are entirely made of the thick, hairy, and keratinized epidermal fibers fused together. These are permanent structure, and if broken, they again grow out. Rhinoceros are still slaughtered illegally because of these horns and are of great demand in the oriental countries as a love charm. Next modification, feathers. Birds are covered by feathers which are not found in any group of the animals. They are dry, non-living and conified products of the stratum corneum of the epidermis. These unique structures are light in weight but strong, elastic and waterproof. They show different color due to the presence of pigment of the various shade and structure of arrangement. They mainly streamline and protect the body, conserve body heat and make broad surface of the wing and tail used for the flight. The mode of development of the feathers is like that of scales. Feathers are molted and replaced seasonally. Generally, there is feathers. Generally, three types of feathers are recognized: contour, down, plumage, and plumose hairs. For detail, switch on to the feathers and their modification. Arrangement of feathers or distribution of feather on the body is known as pterylysis. In flight birds are ratiti. In flightless bird, those birds which cannot fly, they are grouped in a ratiti. Feathers are uniformly distributed over the body, but in carinity, feathers are arranged in distinct patches or tracts called pteryli, which remains separated by featherless interspace called the apteria. The arrangement of pteryli varies in the different order, family, and among species of the birds. Principal pteryli found in the pigeon are cephalic, cervical, humeral, spinal, ventral, alar, caudal, lumbar, or femoral, and curial. The feathers are characteristic of the birds and do not occur in any other group of animals. They have been aptly designed the nature's masterpiece. These unique structures are light, elastic, waterproof, most important in the flight. The different color of the feathers are due to the presence of melanin of the various shades as well as due to the iridescence. They are variously modified in different birds to meet the diverse needs of the animal species. Structure of typical feather in birds, particularly in pigeon. A typical feather consists of a typical feather consists of the supporting central axis or main stem and an expanded distal portion that is known as venia. Axis. Axis is the axis is divided into proximal lower portion, the thalamus or the quill, and the distal upper portion, which is rachis or shaft. Calamus. Calamus or or quill is hollow, tubular in shape, and semi-transparent. The base of the calamus is inserted into a pit or epidermal follicle of the skin from which muscle fibers pass to the feather and effect individual movement. At the lower end of the quill is a small opening, the inferior umbilicus, which receive a small conical nutritive papilla of the dermis. The dermal papilla through which blood vessels enter to supply the nutrients and pigment to the developing feather. A second minute opening, the superior umbilicus, occur at the junction of the quill and the rachis on the inner or ventral side. In many birds, including some pigeons, a small tuft of the soft feather called the aftershaft arises near the superior umbilicus and cover it. In Cassowary emu, the aftershaft is as long as main feather from which it arises, but in pigeon it is very minute. Rachis. The rachis are the shaft form longitudinal axis of the vein. It differs from the calamus, it being stiff, solid, opaque, roughly quadrangular in transverse section, and filled with a closely packed pith cell. A longitudinal furrow, the umbilical groove, runs along the inner or ventral surface of the rachis throughout the length. Vein. The expanded membranous part of the feather is called the vein or vexillum. It is divided by the rachis into two unequal lateral halves, and its distal end is narrower than the proximal end. The vein is formed by a series of numerous parallel and closely spaced delicate thread-like structures, the barbs or rami. These are somewhat obliquely from the two lateral sides of the ridges. The size of the barbs gradually decreases towards the two ends of the ridges. Each barb in its turn gives rise to double row of many extremely delicate oblique filaments or barbules or radi. The barbules are of the two types: distal barbules directed towards the tip of the feather and the proximal barbule directed towards the base of the feather. The lower edge of the distal barbules is produced into minute hooklet hemuli or barbicels, which are upper edge of the proximal barbules is deeply curved or rolled, forming a groove and flange. Owing to its oblique disposition, the barbules of the adjacent barb overlap and the hooklets of the distal barbule become interlocked with the curved edge or the flange of the proximal barbules. With this limited sliding interlocking arrangement, all the barbs and barbules are loosely held together so that the vein forms a flexible, firm, wide, flat, and continuous surface ideal for striking the air in the flight. These interlocking parts can be easily pulled apart, for if the vein is stretched, it will first resist but eventually split. They can be slipped in place again and original unity restored by drawing them through closer fingers. The birds repair such damaged feathers by pushing or pulling them through their beak. The feathers of the ostrich and kiwis that have lost the power of flight lack this interlocking mechanism and are very fluty after soft, never possess barb cells. Kind of feathers found in the pigeons. From the various from their various form, function and the locomotion, feathers are usually divided into several types. Of these, only quills, covers, contours, filaments, and down feathers are found in the pigeon, which we will discuss. Quill or flight feather. The typical flight feather or quill have a comparatively strong shaft. They are also characterized by presence of a bar wheels with an interlocking arrangement. They are further classified as remiges, rectrices, coverts. Remiges. These are flight feathers of the wing and also termed as pinions, remiges. Their inner or posterior half of the vein is slightly broader than the outer or anterior half. In the pigeon, there is 23 remiges and are attached to the hinder border of each wing. 11 of them attached to the hand are called the primaries or manualis. Of these first four attached to the second digit are called digitalis. Two of these are predigitalis attached to the distal phalanx and two mid-digitalis attached to the proximal phalanx of the second digit. The remaining seven primaries attached to the metacarpal region and are called metacarpals. Next are rectrices. In pigeon, 12 long rectrices or tail quill are arranged in a semicircular or fan-like manner on the tail. In them, the two halves of the veiny are almost equal in size. The rectrices help the birds as they break and in steering the flight. Covers. Bases of the wing quill are covered by the upper and under wing cover of these above tail quills and upper or under tail covers. Covers are smaller in size than the quill feather, to whom they are structurally similar. They close the interstices between the quill's flight feathers, thus presenting a continuous area to oppose the buoyancy of the air. Next time.